presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Saturday in Los Angeles, what might be, what could be, what should be a preview of the National League Championship Series. Went to the Dodgers by a score of 7-2. Dodgers had a chance in the second, but Jerry Grote double play with the bases loaded. They got nothing and liked it. In the third, Lee Lacy a double to score Billy Russell. 1-0 Los Angeles. Then back came the Phillies. Randy Lurch, the pitcher, a solo shot to tie the ball game at 1. Jerry Martin, a solo shot, his 7th of the year, makes it 2-1 Philadelphia. And then the Dodgers went to work. Jerry Grote, his first homer with the Dodgers. In the bottom of the 5th, made it 2-2. And then in the 6th, the Dodgers sent 9 to the plate. Davey Lopes, a 2-run single to make it 4-2. Bill Russell, a single to score Davey Lopes to make it 5-2. Steve Garvey with an insurance run to make it 6-2. And then Doug Rauch, a fielder's choice, 7-2 Los Angeles. They beat Randy Lurch. Doug Rauch gets the win. He goes to 12-9. The Dodgers and Phillies wrap things up next. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1978 today from Dodger Stadium. In Los Angeles, it's the National League West leader, the Los Angeles Dodgers, versus the Philadelphia Phillies. Larry Christensen for the Phillies and Bob Welch for the Dodgers. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalAdice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So the Dodgers trying to go to 76-54, and they bring along rookie Bob Welch and a sentimental lady on the hill. He's looking for his 6th win of the year. The Dodgers trying to maintain at least a 5-game lead over the Cincinnati Reds and still carry the largest bulge of any of the 4 division leaders. The Phillies go with Larry Christensen, who of course would play a big part in 1980 as well. So the Phillies trying to get out of here with something. Their lead over the Pirates, the last I looked, was 3.5 games. 83 degrees on this Sunday afternoon, the 27th day of August. Threatening skies here in Los Angeles. The Chamber of Commerce is out to lunch today, but it is still 83 degrees and the wind is blowing out to right center. So the Dodgers 75-54, the Phillies 73-53, and what we think is a preview of the National League Championship Series. The Dodgers certainly don't want anything to do with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but they still got to take care of business on their own end. With that, Mr. Welch takes his warm-up tosses. He is 5-3 with the save and a 1.84 ERA. He will make 6 starts after this. Actually, this is his 8th start. He has 5 more down the stretch. After today, he has started once against the Phillies and shut them out. An 8-hitter. He walked 1 and struck out 6. He did that a couple weeks ago in Philadelphia. His last game was against the Expos on the 21st. 8 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned in a loss. He walked 5 and struck out 3. Michael, Red Sox fan, how are you? Mr. Forsberg, we missed you last night. Mr. Lorenzo, with your health, I would not be breathing in the smog of Los Angeles. Welch, 78 1/3 innings, 66 hits, 4 homers, 20 runs, 16 earned. He has walked 13 in his rookie campaign and struck out 53. He is a fastball pitcher and the ground ball base pitcher. And the fastball tops out at 88. We'll have 5 games for you, or maybe 6 for you next week. Angels and Yankees tomorrow, by the way, at lunch. Big McBride leads off in left field for the Phillies. Larry Boa at short will bat second. Mike Schmidt will hit third and bat third. Greg Luzinski cleans up in left. Richie Hebner is at first. He'll bat fifth. Bob Boone behind the plate will go sixth. Jerry Martin in center field will bat seventh. Ted Sizemore at second will bat eighth. And Larry Christensen on the mound will bat ninth. Defensively for the Dodgers, Dusty Baker a 7 and a 4 in left. Rick Monday a 4 and a 3 in center. Reggie Smith a 5 and an 8 in right. Ron Cey a 7 at third. Bill Russell an 8 at short. Davey Lopes a 10 at second. And Steve Garvey a 9 at first. Okay. And Steve Yeager, back behind the plate, is a 7 and an 8. Welch, an average fielder, a 5 and a 947 fielding percentage. Oaks leading the Bucks, by the way, after 3 quarters, 99-92. And the Dodgers scored all their runs for the week in 1963, beating up Houston 8-0. That's the latest from Lorenzo's game top. So Welch is ready. McBride at 232. 7 homers and 36 RBI. By the way, next week will be up to Labor Day weekend in this replay. We're going to go into September. You can play Earth, Wind, and Fire accordingly on your device. Pitch to McBride, and there's a line drive center field. That's going to drop. And that's how this one starts. Boa. Larry at 308, 3 homers and 42 RBI. Computer says a 40% chance of rain, but as you know, it never rains in Southern California. But it pours. Man, it pours. Pitch to Boa. There goes McBride. Ground ball to Cey. His only play is to first. Garvey stays on the bag. The hit and run works. McBride moves to second. Brings up Schmidt, 256, 17 homers, 68 RBI. So Welch trying to pitch with the pressure of having to win. You'd think it was an East Coast press in the ballpark today. Pitch to Schmidt is a fly ball left field. Back goes Baker. It is gone. So Mike Schmidt homers down the line and left, and it's 2-0 Philadelphia. Kind of hung that one over the plate, and Dusty Baker ran out of real estate. And so to do my impression of Triumph the Insult Dog, yes, it pours wins. For the Phillies! Ha 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 ha! Phillies, Phillies, Phillies! So Schmidt now has a 10-game hitting streak. Here's Luzinski at 250, 28 homers and 87 RBI. Pitch from Welch. Struck him out. Got him on an 0-2 looking, and there's 2 out. Of course, you know, this year for baseball, they're kind of sharing the video feed. Home team does the games, and the visiting team, of course, commenting. Years ago, when the Mets were playing in Wrigley Field, of course, WGN did the games, and there was a homer. It doesn't really matter who. And the Cubs just kept showing the replay over and over and over again, and the Mets were taking the feed. And, you know, Ralph Kiner, Bob Murphy, and Lindsey Nelson really did try to play it down the middle for the Mets, but even they got exasperated on the 4th showing of a home run. Here's Hebner. He's at 281, 11 homers and 50 RBI. Pitch from Welch is strike 3. Bob got him. It was in at the knees and dropped, but Yeager tagged him for the out. The Phillies get 2 on the homer by Schmidt. 2 hits and no errors. We go to the bottom of the first. Philadelphia 2, the Dodgers nothing. And so Larry Christensen, making start 27, has a 3-game winning streak. How you doing, Tribe fan? He is 13-8 and an ERA at 2.83. Start number 27. He's got 6 left. as we head into the last month of the regular season. He has pitched against the Dodgers once, 8 innings, 7 hits, a walk, a strikeout, and a win. That game, by the way, was June 3rd. His last time out was the 22nd against the Padres. A complete game win, 9 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 1 and struck out 5. Kilter is a sexual term? You're kidding. I've never even heard of that as a sexual term. Doing well, thanks. 194 and a third innings for Christensen. 171 hits, 8 homers, 67 runs, 61 earned. He has walked 37, struck out 96. His fastball tops out at 87. And he neither favors the ground ball or the fly ball. All right. Quick question on the graphics here in this game. My game is off kilter as to the ball and the player positioning on the field. If the pitcher's throw goes to the left of the batter and the players are out of position, I move them. No, it's starting with a couple versions ago. The game will start with whatever hand the pitcher is. So we thought it's off kilter too. So Christensen will throw from the left side of the mound as a righty, and the lefty would go from the right side of the mound. JT Dutch, how are you? Hopefully that answers your question. And Lorenzo, by the way, is sub for 6 months. Here's the lineup for the Dodgers. That must be in the way you had the ballparks done. Davey Lopes is at second. He'll lead off. Billy Russell at short will bat second. Reggie Smith in right will go third. Steve Garvey at first will clean up. This is the default Dodger Stadium, so that's what I would use. I know that there was no replay boards and all that. That's just the way it is. Steve Garvey cleans up at first. Ron Say at third will bat fifth. Dusty Baker in left will go sixth. Rick Monday in center will bat seventh. Steve Yeager behind the plate will bat eighth. And Bob Welch, who threw 20 pitches in the first, will bat ninth. You can always take a look at how a default park is laid out, Lorenzo, and that will tell you what you have to do, where they should go. The thing I usually struggle with is where does the grandstands for the outfield go, which makes those foul balls look really wacky. Davey Lowe defensively for the Phillies. Luzinski a 4 and a 4 in left. Jerry Martin a 5 and a 6 in center. Bake McBride a 9 and an 8 in right. Schmidt a 10 at third. Boa a 10 at short. Sizemore a 7 at second. And Hebner a 6 at first. Boone, a Woolworth player, a dime and a 5 behind the plate. 10 and a 5. Christensen is an 8 on the mound. A 938 fielding percentage. Lopes at 276, 18 homers, so he's already exceeded his real-life numbers, and 55 RBI. The Oaks lose to New Orleans, 122 to 112, so Oakland falls to 14 and 15. We missed you last night, but it wasn't a Dodger game, so we know you don't watch. Pitch to Lopes is a liner into center field, a base hit. So Lopes in good shape to steal one here. You suspect correctly, Mike Schmidt took a Bob Welch offering and put it over the down the line and left, and that got both the Philly runs in. Bill Russell back batting second, 279, a homer and 46 RBI. They throw to first and Lopes is back, and now we'll steal. Oh, nice. What'd she make you? Pitch to Russell. There goes Lopes. The throw down to Sizemore, and Davey has his 31st of the year. So the Dodgers trying to get both of the runs back in a hurry. And the count is a ball and no strikes there. Fish. You like Fish? I found Abe Vigoda kind of tough personally, but pitch to Russell is a ground ball to Hebner. Takes to the bag himself for the out, and Lopes will go to third. What kind of fish? So 1 out for Reggie Smith at 279, 20 homers, and 72 RBI. 2-0 Philadelphia, bottom of the first. Can you let me off the harassment hook for old time? Only if you do it, Lorenzo. You bring it all upon yourself. A productive out with the trademark. Yep. As Lopes moves to third. Pitch to Smith is strike 3. Got him. Looking on a full count. And there's 2 out for Garvey at 3:13. 17 homers, 89 RBI. Halibut. I like halibut. How'd she do it? Lemon butter or spices or fried or what? Pitch to Garvey is a ground ball, base hit right side. So Lopes will score. I'm sure she's a marvel. Oh, lemon butter. That's my favorite. Yum, yum, yum. So Garvey on first is 2-1 Philadelphia. Ron Say at 252, 20 homers and 70 RBI. Pitch to, well, throw to first. Garvey back. Oh, Garvey can now take a good jump. Say popped up left side. Boa has it for the out. Dodgers get a run on 2 hits and no errors. After 1, Philadelphia 2, the Dodgers 1. So Boone, Martin, and Sizemore to face Welch here in the second. As we speak this afternoon, our buddy Dave is having his procedure done. Hopefully that will all come out well. And get his ticker back going like a Timex. He's having a heart abulation done. So Boone at 231, 9 homers and 46 RBI. Pitch from Welch is a line drive. Lopes is there. 1 out. Yeah, he should be a quick recovery. Should be home today if all goes well. They caught it early. And that's a good sign. So no pacemaker or anything. Just some cauterization from what I understand. Here's Martin at 256. Jerry has 7 homers and 25 RBI. Bert Hooten. He's the current pitching coach for the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, your local minor league baseball team. Okay. Pitch to Jerry is a fly ball left center field. Monday going back. 2 out for Sizemore. Ted at 221. 10 doubles and 16 RBI. Not a power threat. Welch. Line drive. Lopes is there, and that will retire the side. So the Phillies go in order. We go to the bottom of the second inning. 2-1 Philadelphia. So Baker, Monday, and Yeager. Baker at 271. 8 homers and 50 RBI. And there's a line drive to right. McBride is there. And Bake makes the catch. Monday at 260. Ex-Pro Killer Extraordinaire is 13 homers and 48 RBI. Pitch from Christensen. Line drive right center field. Gonna drop. McBride will pick it up, and Monday as the 3rd Dodger hit. And that'll bring up Yeager at 226. 8 homers and 31 RBI. Ground ball, Boa to Sizemore for 1, over to Hebner, and that should be 2. It is. No runs, a hit, no errors. Dodgers don't leave anybody on after 2. 2-1 Philadelphia. Yep. Rick Monday, when he was with the... Ironically, that game was at Dodger Stadium, but he was with the Cubs. He saved a flag from being burned in center field. All right, standings for you. Dodgers by 5 over Cincinnati. And here is the big stat for the Dodgers. They have played 10 less games at home than they have on the road. They have the Mets in next week. And right now, because it's The Labor Day weekend things are so bad that you're scheduled right now to say a Dodger Met doubleheader. We'll see. We'll see if I stick with that. Anyway, the Reds are 5 back. The Dodgers' magic number is 29. Philadelphia's lead over Pittsburgh is 2.5. And the Phillies' magic number is 34. It depends. I mean, we'll see. It really does depend on races. So the Dodgers are penciled in for the doubleheader, but that's subject to change. Kansas City and Texas are playing their last game of the year today, unless that division ends tied. They've done the last 2 days, and Texas has taken them both. If there is a playoff, you can bribe me all you want, but right now we're going with standings as our guide, my friend. Dodger doubleheader now. Like I said, it's on the schedule for next Friday, but bribery will get you nowhere. Nope. You could give me $100. If there is a playoff in the American League West between the Royals, here's the situation. If we get any divisional playoff or one-game playoff, exactly, JT. Bribery will get you nowhere. But will you take cash? Any one-game playoff will be at the home of the team which had the better regular season record against each other, if that makes any sense. And since Kansas City has won 8 against Texas, and they only played 15 times, if there is a playoff between Kansas City and Texas, it would be in KC. In the East, Milwaukee by half a game over Baltimore, and 2 over the Yankees. So Christensen at .095, a homer and 4 RBI. I'm just saying it's on the schedule, but it will entirely depend on what happens between now and next Friday. And there's a ground ball to Garvey. Flips it to Welch for the out. Here's McBride. Bake singled and scored on the Schmidt homer in the first. Welch threw 9 batters, 2 1/3 innings, 36 pitches, 2 hits, the homer, and struck out 2. We could take a look. That one I might go with a dice roll for. I could do that. I think the only one we're going to have to worry about is Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. And Lorenzo could give me $50 to make sure that game's in Philadelphia. Pitch to McBride is a ground ball to Russell over to Garvey for the second out. Yeah, I would just do roll a 6-sider. If it's even, it would go to one team, and if it's odd, it would go to the other. I mean, it's a coin flip is how they do it, or used to do it, in the legal offices. So Bill White or Bill Giles or whatever. This is, of course, after divisional play started in '69. Well, that's if it's tied, if they're 9-9. You can't do that in the American League because they play in out amount of times. Did it come up it was moderated? No. Here's Boa. He's 0 for 1. 2 out. Here's the pitch. And there's a ground ball to Garvey. He'll underhand it to Welch, and that will retire the side. So the Phillies go down in order. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After 2.5, Philadelphia 2, the Dodgers 1. And that's what we'll do for home field advantage once the playoffs start. It would be... We would start in the National League West and the American League East. No, we'd start in the National League East and American League West. And Don Quixote in California. After watching some trucking videos from California, it doesn't take very far for you to chase a windmill. I don't hate you, JT Dutch. I don't even hate Lorenzo. Welch at .087, 2 for 23. Christensen deals. Struck him out. So 1 out, got him on a full count, and that'll bring up Lopes, who singled and scored the lone Dodger run in the first. And stole the base. Infield playing for the bunt. I'm not bunting. Christensen delivers. There's a line drive center field. Martin is there. He'll drop in for a hit. That's the fourth Dodger hit. Bill Russell is 0 for 1. Lopes can take a big lead off at first. They go to the plate. Ground ball to Boa. Might be 2. Sizemore for 1. Over to Hebner. And that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the fourth. Phillies 2, Dodgers 1. I wanted to wait till see if if Christensen was gonna throw over. I controlled the Dodgers. I didn't want him to get picked off because unlike what some people think, I do try to play fair. And then of course Russell grounds in the double play. Here's Schmidt. He hit the 2-run homer in the first. His 18th of the year. Yes, I do. You know this. Luzinski and Hebner to follow. Pitch to Schmidt. Ball 4. And here's Luzinski. He struck out his first time up. He now has fanned 124 times. Nope. Sorry, Lorenzo. Pitch to Luzinski. Line drive to Russell. Throws to first. Do they get in? No. But Russell robbed a hit, and Garvey ran the play very well. And Schmidt ran back. 1 out. Dodger Stadium playing smaller today. Of course, it is a day game. +4 for the lefties, +1 for the righties in batting average. And this is downright a home run palace for Southern California. +12 for the lefties and +13 for the righties. Hebner struck out his first time up, ball 4. So runners on first and second. Spare a thought, by the way, for Larry Gura. He threw a 1-hitter last night for the Kansas City and lost. To Doc Ellis. Bob Boone is 0 for 1. Now the Dodgers could... Yeah, that was last night's game. Remember, Wednesdays were in prime time, 7 Eastern. 4 Pacific. I've never had that. Texas got 2 runs and 1. No, I didn't see Clue last night. I saw Mr. Waterfield. You'll see him tomorrow. So Welch could use a ground ball right now. Pitch to Boone. He got his grounder. Russell only plays to Garvey. And that is an out. So 2 out. And Schmidt and Hebner move up 90. Jerry Martin 0 for 1. So Welch 1 out away from getting out of this. And he should. Russell with a diving stop by the bag. On his knees. Throws to Garvey. Got him. He got him. No runs, no hits, and the Phillies strand 2. After 3.5, Philadelphia 2, Los Angeles 1. Even as a Red Sox fan, I think, Ricky, that was garbage. Pure stinking garbage. All right, Lorenzo. So if you're wondering about what these two teams have done, the Dodgers are going to win the season series. They lead 8-3, and this is the last time that Philadelphia and Los Angeles meet in 1978, unless they make the playoffs. So it'll be Smith, Garvey, and Say to face Christensen here in the 4th. Yeah, you shouldn't taunt. But honestly, I think the Astros, especially some of those players, because they were active, kind of get what they deserve. And I'd rather see it be policed on the field. But you can't. But JT's right. You can't throw at people's heads. That's why you throw behind their backs. It's kind of like in the 8th grade when you talk behind someone's back. You just do that with a baseball. Pitch to Smith. There's a sharp grounder to Hebner. He'll take it to the bag himself for the out, one away. Garvey, RBI single in the first. You don't want to hurt them. You just want to, well, for a polite word, upset them. Michael, Red Sox fan, bought his girlfriend a Joe Kelly Fight Club shirt for her birthday a couple years ago. Yeah, you throw for people's backsides. You hit them in the bum. Pitch to Garvey. There's a little looper into left field. That'll drop for a hit. And Garvey's on with a single. Brings up Say, who's 0 for 1. Throw to first. Garvey back. And Garvey's gonna go, but he didn't get the jump. He got the sign to steal, and Garvey doesn't jump. And it's a 1-0 count to Say. Now Christensen's pitch, and now it's a balk. So what the baseball gods taketh away, they giveth on the next pitch. So 1-0 count, and the tying run now in scoring position. Pitch to Christensen, or from Christensen, ground ball foul, third base side. Angels and Yankees tomorrow, noon Eastern. Ron Guidry, by the way, Tuesday, threw a no-hitter. Now, it was against the A's, so it only counts as half, but you can't have a brawl in this game. So Guidry goes to 18-5. He only walked one batter. That came in the fifth. Pitch to Say. There's a ground ball to Boa. Looks Garvey back over to Hebner. And that should be an out. And it is, too. For Dusty Baker, who's 0 for 1. Pitch to Dusty. There's a ground ball to Sizemore. Over to Hebner. And that will retire the side. Well, then you'd miss the playoffs because I'm not sure the Yankees are getting there. After 4, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Philadelphia 2, Los Angeles 1. No, you can have a fight in Action PC. I'm trying to see if it's here. And the 63 Yanks are really good. I'm trying to think. I guess that's in the... I've had fights. At least in the 78, Ricky says bunting was still cool. Extra innings last night when no one bunt just dragged. Yeah. Blame Keith Law. Well, we've made bunting bad because there's a better chance that you score the run without it. But yeah, the runner on second, nobody out. Why not drop one? Here's Sizemore. He's 0 for 1. Pitch to Ted. There's a ground ball to Russell. He throws it over to first, and that's an out. So 1 out for Christensen, who's 0 for 1. Welch has settled right in after that first inning homer to Schmidt. And there's a line drive to Say. 2 out. And so 18 batters deep. Welch at 60 pitches. 4 2/3 innings. 2 hits. The homer to Schmidt. Both the runs are earned. He has walked 2 and struck out 2. One of those hits and runs belongs to Mr. McBride. I wonder why they call him Bake. Ground ball to short. Russell, snap throw to first. McBride can run, and he's out. He's out by an eyelash, and so that will get us to the commercial. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home at Chavez Ravine, Philadelphia 2, Los Angeles 1. So here's how we got here. Mike Schmidt, a 2-run shot on the left field line in the first, made it 2-0 Philadelphia. Schmidt now has a 10-game hitting streak. In the bottom of the inning, Steve Garvey singled home Lopes to cut the lead in half. And that's where we are. So Welch, 2-hitter through 5, 2 runs, both earned. Christensen has allowed 5 hits through the first 4 and just the run. Here's Monday. Rick singled his first time up. Pitch from Christensen. Here's a slow roller by the bag. Sizemore over to first, 1 out. Here's Yeager. 225, 8 homer. Nope, he's 0 for 1. I already read that already. To Sizemore again, over to Hebner. And that's an out. No, it's an error. So Sizemore threw it away. Hebner got it. Yeager, of course, has the speed of me, and he'll hold it first. I would venture to guess the Giants would have something to say about a Dodger-Yankee series. Here's Welch. He's going to bunt. Hebner and Schmidt play for it. Pitch to Welch. Here's a Boone with a fantastic play. Picks it up. Throws to first. Got him. So 2 outs and Yeager in scoring position for Lopes. 18 batters deep for Christensen. 4 2/3 innings, 67 pitches. 5 hits and 2 strikeouts. Lopes is 2 for 2. Stole a base and scored. I was surprised when I did game 1 for you, Lorenzo, of the 63 series. Afterwards, because someone thought that, Koufax should have thrown a no-hitter. I looked, and the Yankees were 9-5 favorites in that series. Remember, the Yankees didn't have Mantle down the stretch or for a good chunk of that year, and they had him for the World Series. And so, although history looks at the Dodgers and how they spanked the Yankees, going into that 63 series, the Yankees were the prohibitive favorite. 9-5 is what the Daily News had. The Last Innocents. Who wrote that, Lorenzo? Pitch to Lopes. There's a liner in the left field. That's going to drop. Yeager's going to score, and we're tied at 2. The Dodgers had all the right breaks, 4 runs in 4 games. And honestly, I know that the Cardinal win in 64 gets more credit, but that really was the end of the Yankee dynasty. And and Ford was. I told you that. And you didn't believe me. And it wasn't like Koufax pitched a bad game in the one I did. Michael Leahy. Okay. So here's Russell. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play. And the hit, Christensen and Boone have a conversation. Hit and run is on. Throw, and he hits it foul. And Boone will get a couple minutes here because he will not be making any farmers in the Dell for the next night or 2. He's trying to shake it off. He got hit in the breadbasket. Then I don't care if it's a Dixie cup or a Solo cup. That's going to hurt. So 1-1 the count. Christensen deals. There goes Lopes, and they won't even throw. So Lopes takes advantage of an injured Boone and steals his 32nd of the year. Pitches a strike. It's 1-2 to Russell. Lopes the tying run on second. Got him! He got him looking on a 1-2 fastball. And so 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error, and 1 catcher who needs an ice bag. After 5, we're knotted up at 2. So here's Boa. Schmidt and Luzinski here in the 6th. Larry's 0 for 2. Pitch from Welch. Ball 4. Here's Schmidt. 2-run homer and a walk. So yeah, I honestly think although the Yankees won the American League barely, and I mean barely in '64, I think the Dodgers, I'm giving Lorenzo credit here, and he won't hear this, the Dodgers kind of smashed that dynasty in '63. And of course by '65, the Yankees were there. How you doing, San Diego Replays? Pitched it, well, Welch and Yeager trying to get on the same page. And that gets away from Yeager, and Boa moves to second, on the wild pitch. Of course, the Dodgers would be a mini dynasty in the National League. They would win the World Series in '65. And were upset by the Orioles in '66. So a 1-0 count to Schmidt. Boa the go-ahead run. That's into center. Monday has it for the out. Boa will go to third, and there's 1 out with Luzinski at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Welch tries to bear down. Ground ball to Say. They'll take the sure out at first, and it's 3-2 Philadelphia. So Boa scores, nobody on, and 2 out. Sole Deo Gloria. Oh, you're actually in North Carolina. Okay. And so who is Sole Deo Gloria? Hebner walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Welch is a ground ball foul first base side, and the count is 2-2. Pitch is right back to Welch, over to first, and that will retire the side, but the Phillies retake the... No, he doesn't, because Welch throws it away. It goes in the dugout, and Hebner will go to second. So it's an E1 on what should have been the 3rd out. And Tommy has a few unkind words for Welch. Here's Boone. He's 0 for 2. So the inning extends itself on the air by the Dodgers on Welch. Got him! He swung on and missed a 1-2 breaking ball, and that will retire the side. So 1 run on no hits and the error. So after 5.5, it's Philadelphia 3, the Dodgers 2. So Smith, Garvey, and Say in the bottom of the 6th. Yep. I took 2 years of Latin. I should have known that. That 66 series was certainly the end of the Dodgers mini dynasty, if you can call it that. Well, it did win 3 pennants in 4 years. Only 2 runs in 4 games in that series. And Latin, for God alone, is glorified. Okay? So, my friend, what do you like to replay? Smith 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He's now 1 for 3 as he punches that single into left center field. So Martin will pick it up, and the tying run is already on base for Garvey. Has singled twice and drove in a run in the first. Christensen. There's a liner left field. Luzinski will pick it up on a hop. And the Dodgers are in business here with runners on first and second. And nobody out. Now remember, Lorenzo, when you go under bridges and power lines, I should crackle like the good old-fashioned AM radio. In fact, so here's hot dogs. Here, did I replicate that well enough for you? Christensen from the stretch. Ground ball to Boa. Takes it the bag himself for one. Over to Hebner. That should be two, and it is. So Smith moves over to third. And Baker at the plate is 0 for 2. If you're into replays, yeah, don't stream, chat, and drive, yeah. Basketball and football, okay? So here's Baker. He's 0 for 2. And don't stream, chat, and drive. I don't need to get a phone call from the California Highway Patrol. Pitch from Baker. Gets away from Boone, and Smith will tie the ball game. The 0-2 was in the dirt. Reggie was dancing down the line, and he scores to make it 3-3. And Dodger Stadium is agog. So the count now is 1-2 strikes. Your grandson is doing the typing. Okay, Lorenzo's grandson, tell us an embarrassing story about Grandpa. Pitch to Baker. Ground ball to Hebner. He'll underhand it to Christensen, and that will retire the side. But the Dodgers have tied the ball game at 3. A run on 2 hits and no errors. After 6, it's 3-3. I think I've done a video on my setup, my friend, and I use XSplit, and I have 2 monitors because the game is on the laptop. Too many to tell. The game is on the laptop, but my streaming software and my Twitch chat is on the second monitor, so I'm looking over to see it. In fact, this is how I do it. So I've got the game on here, and I call it there, and I look over here to read the chat and to see who's given me some money or followed, and I look over here to see how many people are watching and all that. So that's how I do it. And you can tell how big my bald spot is. Jerry Martin will lead off the 7th. Martin 0 for 2. Sizemore and Christensen to follow. 3-3 the score. Welch delivers. Struck him out. Bob got him on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Swung on and missed. And that's 4. You've been using Streamlabs. That's OBS, isn't it? And where are you streaming? On YouTube? Sizemore. 0 for 2. Christensen to follow. There's a ground ball to Say. Over to Garvey. And that should be an out. It is. 2 away. Larry Christensen is 0 for 2. I would imagine he would still pitch. I would yank him. He's got a lot of pitches left. Bought your first Action PC game this week, Michael Red Sox fan did. And what year are you doing, my friend? Christensen stays in the ball game and strikes out. Stretch time, 3-3. And just a reminder that Farmer John, makers of Dodger dogs, you can find them at Ralph's, Vaughn, Safeway, or wherever else fine hot dogs are sold in Southern California. All right, you're on YouTube. I take it that you're... How would I know you? I'll take a look. Al Red Sox, always good for giving advice. And so is Dave Little. Two of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet. Monday is 1 for 2. Yeager and Welch here in the bottom of the 7th of a 3-3 tie. Christensen starts the inning. Ground ball right back to Larry. Over to Hebner, 1 out. That brings up Yeager. 0 for 2. He is scored and grounded into a double play. Not necessarily in that order. 3 runs, 2 hits, an error for the Phillies. They've left 3 on. The Dodgers have 3 runs, 8 hits, and an error, and they've left 3 on. Pitch to Yeager. Little number down to Sizemore. Throws it to Hebner for the out. So 2 out for Bob Welch, who is bunted and struck out. He's 0 for 1. Welch is going to stay in the ball game. He's thrown 104 pitches. He can go probably around 125. And there's a ground ball to Schmidt. Cross the way to Hebner, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 8th. Bob Welch gets the fatigue sign, 3-3. Mr. Red Sox fan, Al, 2018-19 Orlando Magic. I played a season with that team on the console. I'm assuming NBA Live, so I'm familiar with that roster. Well, best of luck to you. Be McBride, Boa, and Schmidt here in the 8th. I can't click the link, but if you're watching and click it, you can give Mr. Replays fan or Mr. Replays a sub. So Bate 1 for 3. Singled and scored, and that came on the Schmidt homer in the first. Welch 104 pitches, 7 innings. Just the 2 hits, McBride's and Schmidt's homer. He has walked 3 and struck out 5. Pitch to McBride, foul ball, third base side. So McBride has an 0-2 count. Welch. Line drive. Garvey's there. Let me see if I can do this real quick. All right. Duke and 91 Duke and 94 Arkansas is what he's got. And so I've subbed. $40 minutes of hell for Arkansas. All right, Boa, 0 for 2. 1 out. He has walked and scored. And there's a ground ball to Garvey. Great play. Steve runs into the bag himself, and there's 2 out. Garvey almost should have waited till it went on the dirt. He picked it up on a seam there, and it nearly went into right field. 2 out for Schmidt, who hit the 2-run homer in the first. Pitch to Mike. Into left. Baker. Goodbye. Schmidt has homered down the left field line for the 2nd time today, and it's 4-3 Philadelphia. So here it is again. Schmidt has Welch's number. And that one was 352 down the line. Hopefully Lorenzo didn't crash the car. So Welch slaps the ball back and forth in his glove. Schmidt did not have a good 78. But big-time homers there, and the Phillies go up 4-3. Luzinski is 0 for 3. He has a sack... He has an RBI and a strikeout. Welch deals into center field. Monday will make the catch. 2 out. No, that's it. That's 3 out. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-3. Philadelphia. But it's the heart of the order for the Dodgers. Lopes, Russell, Smith, and then Garvey. SDG is playing the season with the 20 greatest college championship teams from this year's last year's game, because this year's isn't out yet. And yep, Schmidt down the line. So Christensen threw 27 batters, 7 innings, 101 pitches, 8 hits, and 3 strikeouts. 2 of the 3 runs are earned. Lopes, they've yet to retire him. He singled thrice, stolen 2 bases, scored, and drove in a run. They play for the bunt. Not going to get it. Into center field. Martin goes back, 1 out. I would imagine because the basketball regular season isn't done, that they'll wait for final stats. Roll on the floor, copter plays. Thank you very much for the follow. Hockey comes out Friday. You can pre-order it now. And we'll be with you Friday night to discuss the hockey game. Billy Russell is 0 for 3. He has grounded into a double play and struck out. So I imagine when maybe a month. But you can't do the new season until the regular season's done. Obviously, the NHL, the regular season's done. It's playoffs. Pitch to Russell. There's a ground ball to Sizemore, who can't handle it. So he's on with an error. That's the second error for the Phillies, and Russell, the tying run, is on with 1 out. Yes, that's how they did it, and because it's done. And so you have all the stats, and because it's supposed to come out before the night before the playoffs start, go Habs go, you can play the playoffs right along with the real ones. So I'd imagine once the NBA season, regular season, goes final. JT Dutch asks an interesting question. Smith 1 for 3 with a run scored and a strikeout. I would take Dawson. Reggie Smith played forever and was very productive for a long time, but Dawson and the Expos were a very good match. But what would you rather take, Reggie Smith or Andre Dawson? Pitch to Reggie, and here's a liner up the middle. That's a base hit. Russell will move to third. Martin's throw goes in the infield. All that matters is you're enjoying them. So the infield playing in for Garvey, who is 3 for 3. Russell on third, Smith on first. 1 out, bottom of the 8th, 4-3 Philadelphia. Pitch from Christensen. Struck him out. He got him on a 2-2 inside on the black. And 2 out for Say, who's 0 for 3. The Penguin could strike right here. Christensen trying to hold on with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Kicks and fires. Into center field. Martin will go back, but that will stay in the yard, and that will retire the side. The Dodgers huff and puff and do not score. No runs, a hit, and an error. We go to the 9th, 4-3 Philadelphia. So Hebner, Boone, and Martin. Welch probably will get a base runner. Hebner 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Bob has held the Phillies to 3 hits and 3 walks. But Mike Schmidt's 2 homers have changed the game. Pitch to Hebner. Struck him out. He got him on an 0-2 looking, and that's 6 for Welch. So here's Boone, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Welch kicks and deals. In the left, Baker. That'll stay in the yard. 2 out for Martin, who is 0 for 3. So Baker, Monday, and Yeager for the Dodgers, and the pitcher spot 4th. Pitch to Martin. Liner to Lopes, and that will retire the side. So Welch Outside of 2 bad pitches to Schmidt, pitched excellent. But he's on the wrong side, going to the bottom of the 9th of a 4-3 game. Yeah, I won't let Yeager hit. Here's Baker. Dusty's 0 for 3. Christensen, at the end of his night. We talk about how I've never heard on a Fortnite stream because your brother is actually a Fortnite streamer and I've never touched the game myself. We just talk about such obscure things. Pitch to Baker. There's a ground ball to third. Schmidt to Hebner, 1 out. So the Dodgers will win the season series regardless over Philadelphia. Here's Monday, 1 for 3 with a single. California and the Yankees from the stadium tomorrow, noon Eastern. Pitch to Monday. He's popped that one up right side. Hebner in foul territory, and whoever pinch hits, it's a last chance saloon. So who can hit a righty? Daryl Hall or Johnny Oates? Well, it's Johnny Oates. He's at 225 with 8 RBI, but he hits righties at a 301 clip. And so 2 out, bottom of the 9th, Phillies 4, Dodgers 3. Christensen's pitch up the middle, and the game moves on. So Oates is the tying run on base. And so they go to the well again. For Davalillo. Vic at 200. 1 homer and 5 RBI. He is the winning run. And yeah, a home run would win it. So Christensen. Let's see if they leave him in. 2 out. Oates on first. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. And the Phillies hang on to win the ball game 4-3. He got him to swing and miss on an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. And Boone comes out to give Christensen a warm hug. What a ball game. And so Mike Schmidt is our player of the game. His 2 home runs, his 2-run shot in the first, and a solo shot in the 8th was the difference. Larry Christensen goes to 14-8. 9 innings, 10 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, and he struck out 5. He had minus stuff, too. That makes it all the more amazing. Bob Welch, yeah, I don't understand how Christensen had minus stuff. Welch goes to 5-4. 9 innings, 3 hits. If it wasn't for Schmidt, I mean, he lost a 3-hitter for goodness sakes. 4 runs all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 6. 4 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Phillies. 3 runs, 10 hits, an error for the Dodgers. You see me? And so for the moment, the lead is 4.5. And for the Phillies, it's 3. So a full day of baseball. Let's get to it. Well, Schmidt's home runs killed him. So in a game only Bob Horner's mom could love, St. Louis shuts out Atlanta 10-0. John Denny, complete game, strikes out 7, goes to 10-11. Rick Mailer takes a loss. He goes to 3-4. And the Braves fall to 55-74. Baltimore down Seattle 5-4. Scott McGregor goes to 13-11. Parrott goes to 6-3. Kelly, his 8th of the year with 2 RBI. The Yankees in 10 beat the A's 5-4. Catfish Hunter with the win goes to 6-4. Bob Lacey goes to 7-11. Chris Chambliss, his 10th of the year, he drives in 3. Minnesota shuts down Toronto 5-1. Roger Erickson gets the win. He goes to 12-15. Jim Clancy takes a loss, 9-12. Rod Carew, how do you do? A double, a stolen base, and 3 walks. Detroit beats Milwaukee 10-3. Larry Sorensen takes the loss. How about that? He falls to 21-6. Slayton gets the win, 9-11. Steve Kemp is 17th of the year. He goes 4 for 5 and drives in 3. Cincinnati does beat Chicago in 11, 5-4. Dave Tomlin goes to 3-3, or 3-5 rather. Willie Hernandez falls to 3-3. The King Kong dude hits 2 for the Cubs in a loss. He drives in 4. Boston has won 2 in a row. Holy cow. Louis Tiant beats Fitzmaurice. Tiant goes to 10-11. Bobby Grich, 2 for 3 with his 10th of the year, 4-1 Boston. Pittsburgh 4, Houston 2. Don Robinson goes to 11-4. My favorite name in baseball, Mark Lemongello, falls to 12-7. Holy cow! Cleveland 9, White Sox 4. That's a bad Harry Carey. Hi, everybody! The White Sox lose 9-4. Russell gets the win. That's Paul. He goes to 4-1. Bob Garten goes to 0-3. Dwayne Kuiper, 3 for 5 with 2 RBI and a triple. Doubleheader in San Francisco with Montreal, and they split. Expos win the first, 3-1. Ross Grimsley goes to 17-8. Vida Blue falls to 9-12. Gary Carter with the 16th of the year. In Game 2, Ed Halicki beats the Expos 5-4. Darryl Knowles takes the loss. Terry Whitfield, 4 for 4. His 8th of the year, drives in 3. Final was 5-4. Texas is in first place. They beat Kansas City 5-2. Doc Medic beats Dennis Leonard, who goes to 17-9. Al Oliver, 2 for 4 with a stolen base. And finally, the Mets beat the Padres 6-4. Nino Espinosa in U gets the win. He's 8-13. Eric Rasmussen goes to 8-6. And Jerry Turner with his 6th of the year. So Texas has that. The Angels are not in good shape. They're 5.5 out. And right now, both of the American League races are ahead by teams that did not win in real life. Never tried to do Costas before. There's a hockey guy, the guy that calls the games for the Washington Capitals, calls him like Bob Costas. Anyway, standings going into Monday the 28th. Philly by 2.5 over Pittsburgh. Dodgers by 4 over Cincinnati. The Orioles by a half game over Milwaukee. 1.5 over the Yankees. Yankees and Angels at noon. Texas by a game over Kansas City. 2.5 over Minnesota. And 5.5 over California. And so Lorenzo can accuse me of being biased for California because I'm playing the Yankees tomorrow. So tomorrow at noon, California and the Yankees, and tomorrow night, if it's released at 7 Eastern, we'll do the virtual unboxing for Action PC Hockey 2020. Hey, thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you tomorrow for some baseball. For now, think good thoughts for Dave and be good to each other. Goodbye.